Morning, Cal and Nick. So today is home day for this lovely family. Now, before you two lovely people and your daughter Harlow went home, I wanted to talk to you about your unique perspective of having gone through IVF as a same-sex couple. It's IVF is a journey that's typically hard enough without additional challenges. So I wanted you to help me understand what those additional challenges as a rainbow couple are or have been.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the IVF journey to us, it was, we didn't know too much about it before we went through it. So we definitely learned a lot. And then obviously the added element of being a same-sex couple, it was quite different from, your normal kind of IVF arrangement.
Yeah.
I think we touched on last time we chatted about endometriosis, the fact that I think there was points in my life and also points in Nick's life as well with her reproductive issues that we had periods of thinking, maybe, we're going to have trouble with fertility or we're going to be infertile. And I think the biggest shock for us in the IVF journey was, despite our individual pathologies and reproductive issues, by default, because of being in a same-sex relationship, we were diagnosed as socially infertile, which was
pretty awful term.
a term that we've never heard of before.
So you're either socially infertile or functionally infertile.
So can you explain what the perceived difference is there?
Yeah, I guess
essentially it's just Medicare funding.
Yep.
So with a diagnosis of social infertility, it means that you don't have any support from Medicare. So everything's out of pocket, and because Medicare don't pay anything towards it, it means that even if you're on the top level of private health cover, private health doesn't pay it either. So what it meant for us is that our IVF expenses were all out of pocket.
Because what people don't realise is that IVF is really typically heavily subsidised if you have what's called functional infertility. So people are getting the taxpayer effectively to fund or assist them with their process. And I'm quite shocked and embarrassed to say that I didn't realise there was this distinction, and I'm actually horrified.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is as well is that generally to be diagnosed as functionally infertile, you have to have been trying to conceive for a certain amount of time and fail. And although we'd been definitely trying to conceive for a while and failing, obviously the nature of being in a same-sex relationship, it meant that we couldn't fall on that as a diagnosis. And so it was social infertility. And
but doesn't the social infertility handle, doesn't that suggest that your infertility is a choice?
Yes.
Yeah.
When it's clearly not.
Yeah. I don't know who came up with the term. It's a terrible term.
We definitely need to change it. But that's also relates to women that are single. So a single woman that wanted to conceive by herself would be socially infertile as well. So it's a term that
it's even harder if you're a gay couple. We've got a few
a gay male couple
who are trying to do surrogacy and all those sort of things, and the law changes in all different areas. So a lot of gay couples will look at doing it overseas and having a surrogate because it can be easier, particularly in America or India. But the laws continually change, and you have to have I think at least 100,000 if you want to have a child
for surrogacy. So I guess
can I say you guys speak about this very evenly in a very considered fashion, and here I am hearing about it, and I'm getting riled about it.
Yeah.
That must have caused you guys some frustration and anger over the years.
I think for us, I think it was the inequity in the fact that there is a huge
totally iniquitous,
cost barrier to entry for our rainbow community to have a family.
Yep.
We're in a really privileged position that we could do it, but not we have a comfortable income, 6-figure income, but not everyone has that.
No.
So
you still have to save though, and it was $20,000 at the end of the day.
And why should you be penalised more by our Medicare system because you're a same-sex couple?
Yeah, it's crazy. But we only just got gay marriage too, so...
I think, hopefully it's a matter of time, and it's...
Have you seen or heard anything about this issue in the past that suggested that people are agitating about it, or there may be movement towards addressing it?
I don't think there's enough awareness about it.
Yeah.
The fact that we're in the community and we only learnt about it going through the process firsthand, I just don't think there's enough awareness around the inequities that our rainbow community face when it comes to barriers of entry into starting a family.
Yeah.
The other part that was really frustrating for us is that you have to do psychology appointments as per the guidelines.
Right.
Because we're going into an agreement with a donor.
Yes.
And for that to occur, we have to have a separate appointment, and it's not to say, do you have great parenting or whatever. It's just to, basically have a chat is what I got out of it.
A very expensive chat.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A few very expensive chats.
Yeah.
Just to tick boxes, which, I guess...
Why should that be a process with a psychologist as opposed to just a matter of you agreeing to a formal contract of sorts? What...
There's so even if we did go, we didn't end up having a legal agreement with our donor. And that's basically because the law would always, most of the agreements don't stand up.
Right.
And there has been a lot of cases in the past before where the donor has then sought rights to be.
Right, okay, yeah.
So, and for us, we were very comfortable with our donor being Kel's younger brother. And, but certainly it was, to me, pretty useless doing those psychology appointments.
Sure, yeah.
And for us, where, I think if you're a single woman or a same-sex couple wanting to have a baby, it's you have to go through a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to put up money. There's a lot that you have to think about, and
there's a lot of consideration that goes into it. It's not, the fact of having a few drinks and getting jiggy with it.
Yeah. And I imagine there are same-sex couples all around Australia that do genuinely desire to have children, but are just so off-put by all of this that they don't.
Frustrating for fertility specialists as well, because they want to treat their patients equally, and then...
But the law just makes it too difficult.
Well, they can be then sort of investigated by Medicare, and then they have to sort of prove their clinical reasoning for choosing functionally infertile, because we have had some friends that had infertility specialists that said
they were functionally infertile.
You're functionally infertile because you're a same-sex couple.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
so,
but again, it puts the health practitioners in a vulnerable position. So we're so thankful for those brave health practitioners that do kind of put themselves on the line to do what they feel is right. But again, it's not an easy.
Shouldn't be set up that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I love you. I love your advocacy, and you've got such considered, gentle advocacy. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that aspect of what is a very complex process.
Yeah.
And if anyone has any questions as well about navigating the process, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help and provide our recommendations.
Brilliant. I'll put your handles on the video. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, lovely family.
Thanks, Dr. Brown.
Bye, Harlow.